Hello, ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Weekly Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. Also, I will touch on Ethereum as well. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to my channel so don't miss out the upcoming video that could be time sensitive. Also, hit the notification bell so don't miss out the upcoming videos. Also, you can follow me on library.tv as well as Twitter and Patreon. And of course, in library.tv, join the decentralized YouTube movement. So you can earn library token just by joining library.tv. Also, just by watching video, you can earn library token as well. If you're interested, you can click the link below and join the decentralized YouTube movement. And of course, in my for my Patreon member, I just post a video about pandemic flu kit review, so you can check it out. And of course, I post a video about does coronavirus vaccine work. And of course, there's something higher return than gold. And yeah, I post a whole bunch of video already. You can check it out. And of course, there's a coin, there's a token, which is the next Tezos. If you miss Tezos, there's another coin very have a similar potential just like Tezos. If you're interested, you can join my Patreon group. So let's talk about Bitcoin quickly. So this is pretty interesting. They talk about Satoshi is still the biggest whale because he had 10.9 billion worth of Bitcoin, so which is equivalent to 1.12 Bitcoin that he mined in the earlier days of the Bitcoin network. So the thing is, they want to so they confirm by the so Potashi basically is the miner. So that is confirmed to be the anonymous Bitcoin creator known as Satoshi. So the earlier days, the earlier blocks are basically Potashi, the miner, also has the first Bitcoin transaction to Hall Finney. And Hall Finney is a well-known earlier Bitcoin developer as well. And the thing is, the reason why why Potashi mined over 10.9 billion worth of Bitcoin at the time is because it's protect the network from a 51% attack. So this is pretty interesting. And another thing, this is the mining pattern for the Potashi. This is the Potashi pattern. So this is from Whale Alert, basically. So you can see the straight line using the standard Bitcoin mining software, and then the saw-like lines are attributable to Potashi. So this same pattern, they notice that they adjust the speed between the blocks, which is average block time at about 0.6 blocks per 10 minutes. And the reason why is every 10 per 10 minutes is because this is the speed that is less likely for the 51% attack, and also basically protect the network from 51% attack. So that is for whatever reason, they adjust the speed to keep the block near 10 minutes. That is to protect the network from 51% attack. This is, and another thing they talk about is the earlier Bitcoin mining operation was basically composed of 48 computers, and one of them was responsible for this type of coordination. And Satoshi also kept his share of a hash rate at a steady 60% as the network grew, and then 51% attack was a major threat for Bitcoin at that time. And so you can see the blocks mined per 10 minutes per Satoshi chain. So this is how they designed the network at the very early days, I guess. And also, Satoshi stopped mining at block 54316 once he think the network sufficiently decentralized. And okay, the one big question is people asking, hey, will Satoshi ever sell the token that he already mined in earlier days of the Bitcoin network, which we are talking about is 1.12 million Bitcoin worth about 10.9 billion right now. So if Satoshi ever sell the Bitcoin, that will have a very detrimental effects to the network, right? But the thing is, like they're saying that the Bitcoin mined by Potashi possibly a byproduct of his effort to protect the 51% attack, just to maintain the network's stability and safety. And but the question is why Satoshi didn't simply burn the token in this case, right? I mean, if you want to maintain the network safety after you mine all this token, why not you just burn the coin? That's another question as well. And then this is also according to the earlier Bitcoin developer. Satoshi also feared 51% so much that he even have a GPU ready to defend the network. So this is pretty interesting. I mean, right now you're talking about 1.12 million Bitcoin still mined by Potashi. Potentially, one day he may sell it. We don't know. But the thing is, right now they're thinking that he has no intention of selling it. All he cares is about the network of Bitcoin, and Potashi is not Potashi miner were not motivated by any financial gain or whatsoever. Unlike the miners right now, like Ampool, Bitmain, all they care is about money, right? So remember, Bitmain tried to get to an IPO in Hong Kong Stock Exchange at the time, right, in 2017, and end up he cannot get into the IPO. The thing is, they want to get to IPO in the stock exchanges because they want to cash out. They want the money. But the thing is, at the time, after remember 20,000, the Bitcoin reached 20,000 at on December 2017, and then it crashed. And then after it crashed, they cannot launch in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, because I think at the time they want to launch at the Hong Kong Stock Exchange back maybe on February or March in 2018. But the thing is, the Bitcoin market was a collapse, after that, right? After 20,000 at the peak in December. So Bitmain cannot go to IPO in the stock exchange. So it's a good thing, actually. I think Bitmain, they just want to cash out, seriously. Just want to cash out. They just want investor money. And then after that, they cannot list it to the exchange anymore because there's some type of fraud or whatever. So anyway, the next stop, we're going to talk about Ethereum. Ethereum developers basically challenge the hacker to break the Ethereum 2 testnet. So there's a 10,000 is up for grab for the first hacker to blow up the consensus on Ethereum 2 testnet. So this is pretty interesting. Ethereum core developer Danny Ryan basically issued a challenge to white hat hacker to break a pair of Ethereum 2 testnet. So Ethereum 2 will coordinate tens of thousands of validators for the sake of true decentralization. So, but this validator is just miners. So if you have tens of thousands of computers around the globe, it's very difficult to attack the network seriously because they are not centralized in certain geographic location. They are spreading like tens and thousands of computers around the globe. How can you attack them? It's kind of difficult, right? And unless there's you can do that unless you infect it with the computer with virus, and then the virus will get to infect it with other computer with virus, then that could happen, right? So that could happen. Yeah, that could happen, but we'll see. So that is the purpose of truly decentralization, because none of the computer will hold 100% of the blockchain data, right? And versus the Amazon Web Services, it's not that decentralized. It's pretty centralized, actually. It's easier to bring down the Amazon Web Services rather than the blockchain ecosystem. To be honest, if they are really, really decentralized, true decentralized, if they have tens and thousands of validators, I don't think it's so easy to hack into their system. But the thing is, if you develop a virus, probably it could possible. In fact, tens and thousands of computers also possible as well. But the thing is, if you're so centralized, the target is even more easy because you only infected a few computers, you can bring down the whole network. And don't forget, I don't want to bring this up again, but EOS only has like 30 block producers, right? 30 is like nothing. Seriously, 30 is like a collusion to me. I think Cardano, they have like hundreds of, I think hundreds to thousands, I can't remember, of the miners. So that is pretty decentralized. I mean, But for Bitcoin, it's not that decentralized because Bitcoin is only controlled by a whole bunch of big miners, right? Bitmain, Npool, or whatever. They have a whole bunch of other, so it's not that decentralized per se. Um, but so the thing is, I think the purpose of blockchain technology is decentralization, right? So if your network is so centralized, why am I using your ecosystem? So I can just go back to the legacy system, go back to the traditional system, right? So why am I using blockchain? So that's another questions we need to ask when you buy certain token. Um, you have to ask a whole bunch of questions. Why you're buying this token? What are they doing? And can they replace the legacy system, or they don't have to? I mean, or even the legacy system or traditional system can still function without the blockchain. So if they can still function without the blockchain, or it doesn't matter, then there's no point to do a blockchain, right? So is it necessary to use a blockchain technology to replace the ecosystem? So we have to ask a whole bunch of questions, things like that, right? So we cannot just blindly put your money into the every single hot token, right? Every token is pretty hot. Look at this Chainlink. So I hope people did not buy at the top. So if you missed the train, I talked about that in my my previous video. If you missed the train, wait until the next one. Okay, there are always opportunity out there. So when I think a lot of people talk about Cardano, all the YouTuber talking about Cardano, Chainlink, it's time to get out seriously. And another thing is, like, they will say, hey, this is the opportunity of the lifetime. You only have this chance. You will never get a second chance. No. Got to be patient. So if you miss the train, wait until the next one. There are always opportunity out there. Just be patient and don't put your emotion in any investment. You got to look at the, you got to be, and when everybody go to one direction, you go to the opposite direction. That's my take on it. So I don't like to chase the high at all. If you chase the high, you're going to lose money left and right. But long run, I'm pretty bullish on crypto and commodity as well. Not a financial advice. Use your due diligence. So let me know what you think about Satoshi. Is Satoshi a Potashi miner? Is he going to sell his stash? His stash is pretty big, right? 10.9 billion worth of Bitcoin, or 1.12 million Bitcoin he has already mined in the earlier days of Bitcoin network. And comment below, what do you think? Is he going to sell his Bitcoin to crash I guess to crash the network? And what do you think about this Ethereum testnet, Ethereum 2 testnet? Do you think the hackers are able to hack into the system? Let me know what you think about that. I would love to hear from you. If you find this video interesting or helpful, smash the like. Also comment below, and that will help my ranking in YouTube, and I will continue to provide quality video for you guys. And also you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, as well as Patreon. For the sensitive subject, I put all this in my Patreon only, because if I talk about something sensitive in YouTube, I potentially get banned, so I can't talk about those things anymore. Unfortunately, we don't have a freedom of speech anymore. So that's why it's important that you join the library.tv, basically a decentralized YouTube. Join the decentralized movement. Move away from the legacy system or traditional system, just controlled by a handful of people, a handful of corporations that limit your freedom of speech, freedom of production, and yeah, basically no more freedom of speech. Everything has to be politically correct at this time right now, and you don't hear a lot of stuff from mainstream media for my channel, basically. I think in terms of the COVID-19 virus, so I cannot even say this word. If I say this, I probably I probably doesn't get anything from this. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I probably get banned. Not just because I don't really care about the advertising, but the thing is, if I say about something like that, there will be no advertising. But I don't rely on this advertising thing. I just do this for fun, basically. So the COVID-19 virus, I'm going to put all this thing into my YouTube channel, not YouTube, the Patreon. I have different insight. I can say things freely in my Patreon group because all these things I'm saying they don't like to hear, unfortunately. Anyway, remember, crypto deep divers. We, the people, take control of our money. Stay wise, stay safe, peace. I'm not your financial advisor. Investing in cryptocurrency, commodity, and stock market can have inherent risks. Please use your due diligence. And I'm not your financial advisor. And if you have any or healthcare provider, if you have any question or concern about your investment, you should consult your financial planner, or you should consult your doctor. Any concern about the COVID-19 virus as well. Peace out.